What up, y'all? It's Monday. A little quick walk, man. Nothing crazy. Actually gonna go walk to the spot and get me a little croissant, some bacon and some eggs. Yeah, but anyway, man, I hope y'all doing good. I love these audio vlogs. I wanted to come up with a cool name, like Vlog, W-L-O-G, walking vlog. But that sounds kind of weird, so I don't know. We'll just do what it do. So yeah, man, it's been like a heat wave here in the Bay Area, well, in the East Bay Area, for the past like week and a half. I think today's gonna be the last day. It's supposed to be about 94-ish degrees. A lot of people are eagerly anticipating the end of it, because it does get quite uncomfortable at nighttime when it's extremely hot and there's no breeze whatsoever. But I love it. Like I said, we call them Indian summers. It's kind of been like that. October, first week of October, the last weeks of September, first week of October, it usually happens. And sometimes in the middle of October, you can also kind of see a little bit of a heat wave. I don't think that's going to happen this year, though. It's about 75 degrees right now already, 8:30 in the morning, so it's going to be a good one. All right, what's been on my mind, man? A lot, to be honest with y'all. Just trying to figure out what I want to share. All right, we'll get kind of... See, a lot of this stuff has to do with... I'm about to walk across this busy street, so I'll try to talk so it doesn't... just don't hear car noises. A lot of the things that happen in my life... Like, I'm somewhat of a private person. I say somewhat because there's some things that I do share, but there's a lot that I don't share with people. A lot of the times I don't like sharing... I'm an open person, meaning I'm down to share, but I'm private, as in I prefer not to. But I think there's times when sharing is more so for... Good morning. Sharing is more so for, obviously, I don't want to say therapy, but it helps you getting things out, right? But then also, like, it benefits others. I think that's sort of where my head is always at. Like, how can I benefit other people if you're going through a situation, whatever the case may be is? How can I share my experience and then you can learn from that, or whatever it is, you know? Like, I'm always thinking of things that way. However, there's some things where it involves other people, and I try not to get specific about things because, you know, man, it's other people's business. I definitely try not to say names, but there's been some pretty serious things that's been going on in my life recently, and I guess I'll just use this opportunity to talk about them a little bit. I guess, why not? Yeah, I don't know how this one's gonna go. Shout out to COVID. I never put a age restriction or age limit on making mistakes, because wow, they're in a rush, ain't they? Because we're imperfect. We literally cannot do things perfectly. And mistakes come at all phases of our life, whatever we're going through, the odds are we're gonna make a mistake. I think as I get older, you kind of move. So there's this scripture in the Bible. I don't want to misquote it, but essentially it just speaks about when you're a kid, you did things as a kid, right? Very impulsive, maybe childish almost, because you're a kid. You don't think, as a kid, you don't really think before you act. You just do stuff. I feel this way, so I'm gonna do it. And the scripture sort of talks about it. When you're a kid, you do stuff as a kid, but as you mature, you get older, you start approaching things and put away those childish ways of the way you used to do things. Misquoting it, but essentially that's the premise. So scripture's something that comes to my mind, especially as I've gotten old, as I'm getting older, because there's definitely certain changes that I want to make in my life, right? I kind of see things happening, like, I don't really want to do that anymore. I kind of spoke about this on a previous walk vlog, but kind of put away, right? You put away those childish things. You put away reacting off of emotion. Me, I put away, I feel like this, so I'm gonna be destructive. One of the things that I used to do, which is crazy, is I feel away, whatever, and then I would just drink alcohol. Drink so much, pass out, black out, whatever. If you think about it from a logical standpoint point of view, it makes no earthly sense to get blacked out drunk because you're mad. You're only hurting yourself at the end of the day. So I took a step back. Oh man, this is not doing anything constructive for me, so I got to put that away. I want to put that away. And it took some time, but eventually I did. And I think, without getting into specifics, I think we're all dealing with something. There's something that happened to us in our life or experience we had that makes us react a certain way. We feel this and we try to escape to usually sometimes disastrous consequences. Usually. And if you think about it, it's kind of like we're really, really young before we can remember. We didn't have the ability to communicate. Or I take that back. We didn't have the ability to use words to communicate. And so we just cried about everything. We had to use the bathroom. We cried. We used the bathroom. We cried. We were thirsty. We cried. We were hungry. We cried. We were sad. We cried. We needed attention. We cried. We were very, very small. This is how we interacted with the world. And as you get older, realize you don't have to do things like that. You can use your words. Before you do something, you can think, hey, I really want this. I feel this way. I really want this thing. But is this the correct course of action? And you can make changes, and sometimes, it's hard. It's difficult. Making change is difficult. I'm no expert in making change or anything like that. But I notice these things about myself. I notice these things about some of people I consider friends. And it makes me think. And it makes me just want to be I don't want to say better example, because that kind of assumes that, I'm intentionally doing that so people can learn from me. But it just makes me want to be a better version of myself. And, by proxy, if somebody sees a way to enhance their life then that's what it's all about for me. So that was kind of vague, but it's kind of one of the situations I think I found myself in. Is like, why am I always finding others who are kind of going through those kind of things? And it's because I'm going through that stuff too. Like attracts like in some capacity. And so, again, man, I'm just here to be of service at the end of the day. But yeah, that was on my mind today. We just made it to the spot. About to get me a little croissant with some eggs and sausage. Maybe a little Vietnamese coffee. That sounds good. So, hope y'all have a good day. Probably going a longer walk. Maybe tomorrow, Wednesday. All right, peace.